So there's psychological safety, and I want to feel good, and I want to like, and so people are thinking, leaders, managers are like, oh, well, that's just giving in and not addressing problems and that kind of stuff. On the other hand, accountability, there's consequences for their actions. They're doing that, right? But here's the problem. The problem isn't safety or accountability. It's leaders who don't know how to hold both at the same time. You can hold somebody accountable and still have psychological safety on your team.
Yeah, psychological safety. That's important for engagement.
Yeah.
It's important, huge for engagement and for people to have that the ability to feel safe to be able to make decisions. Okay, so psychological safety was never meant to mean anything goes, right?
Right.
But accountability without safety that can turn to fear. It could turn to silence and rigid compliance instead of that engagement. And then HR is called upon and called upon to do things that we didn't go to school for. There's no like curriculum on how to fix damage that's already done.
And
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to think, Chuck, we're seeing that same pattern in return to office debates where organizations are making decisions that are much more about control and trust as they are about productivity, even though they're often framed as culture or collaborations issues.
Yeah, no, I got you. There is that control. Companies did give up some of that control, but some of the things I've read is that at the end of the day, I mean, they're mixed signals, and these things are incredibly emotional, but there were mixed signals coming out. Some companies, some employees saying, "Yeah, we were much more productive and we were moving forward," and management is like, "Yes, they were much more productive." But on the opposite side of that coin, you're getting folks that are saying they were not productive. There was a lack of commitment and visibility, and then HR has to be the messenger for those decisions, these things that they didn't design, or maybe they did design and may not fully agree with.
I think what's happening, and I think what we need to be paying attention to, is that quietus, right? But serious issue right now, the manager capability gap. Because we promoted people in the roles that promoted people into the roles that required judgment, emotional intelligence, systems thinking, without really training them to do any of that really well.